When I think of Broadway musicals that have defined the modern era, few loom larger than Wicked. Since its debut in 2003, this retelling of The Wizard of Oz from the witch's perspective has enchanted millions. But in the last decade, Wicked has not only endured, it has grown, cementing its place as one of the most beloved and profitable shows of all time. As Broadway welcomed new voices and new styles, Wicked remained a towering presence, introducing new generations to the story of Elphaba and Glinda, two young women whose friendship defies expectation and whose destinies reshape Oz. The origins of Wicked lie in Gregory Maguire's 1995 novel, which reimagined the Wicked Witch of the West not as a villain, but as a misunderstood hero. Composer Stephen Schwartz, already celebrated for Godspell and Pippin, saw potential in adapting the novel for the stage. Partnering with book writer Winnie Holzman, Schwartz crafted a score that blended sweeping ballads with sharp wit. After workshops and out-of-town tryouts, Wicked opened on Broadway at the Gershwin Theatre in October 2003, directed by Joe Mantello and choreographed by Wayne Cilento. The story follows Elphaba, born with green skin and ostracized, who forms an unlikely friendship with Glinda, the bubbly and ambitious blonde. At Shiz University, they navigate rivalry, camaraderie, and love before political corruption forces Elphaba to take a stand. Labelled wicked by those in power, she becomes a fugitive, while Glinda embraces public approval. Together, their relationship becomes the heart of the show, a story about identity, prejudice, power, and the complicated choices that define friendship. The music of Wicked has become iconic. Popular is a comic gem, with Glinda coaching Elphaba in social graces. For Good closes the show with bittersweet reflection on friendship's impact. And Defying Gravity, the Act 1 finale, has become one of Broadway's most celebrated numbers, with Elphaba soaring high above the stage as she declares independence. Idina Menzel's original performance as Elphaba, alongside Kristin Chenoweth as Glinda, set a standard that countless successors have carried with equal passion. In the last decade, Wicked has only solidified its status. By 2017, it became the second highest-grossing Broadway show of all time, behind The Lion King. International productions flourished, from London's West End to Japan, Brazil, and beyond. Tours brought the show to cities across the globe, ensuring its reach extended far beyond New York. The cast album continued to sell, streamed by fans discovering the show years after its premiere. High schools and colleges staged licensed versions, introducing young performers to Elphaba and Glinda's world. Culturally, Wicked became more than a musical. It became a rite of passage. Generations of theatre fans recall seeing it as their first Broadway show. Its themes of acceptance and resistance to oppression resonated with LGBTQ+ audiences, immigrants, and anyone who felt like an outsider. The phrase "defying gravity" entered everyday language as shorthand for ambition and empowerment. The show's staging innovations also became legendary. Eugene Lee's set design created a fantastical, clockwork-inspired Oz. Susan Hilferty's costumes blended whimsy and elegance, making Glinda's bubble gown and Elphaba's witch attire instantly recognizable. The moment Elphaba rises on her broomstick remains one of Broadway's great spectacles, drawing gasps no matter how many times it is seen. Critics initially gave mixed reviews, but audience enthusiasm overwhelmed skepticism. Over time, even detractors acknowledged its influence. In the 2010s, Wicked's endurance proved its impact. While newer shows like Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen made headlines, Wicked kept filling the massive Gershwin Theatre week after week, year after year. The announcement of a two-part film adaptation starring Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba and Ariana Grande as Glinda reignited global excitement. The movies, slated for release in the mid-2020s, promise to bring Wicked to an even wider audience. Fans anticipate hearing Defying Gravity on the big screen, introducing the witch's story to millions who may never visit Broadway. Financially, Wicked is a juggernaut. It has grossed billions worldwide, rivaling franchises like Phantom of the Opera and The Lion King. Merchandise, tours, and recordings add to its reach. Yet its true wealth lies in the emotions it evokes. Night after night, audiences cheer, laugh, and cry with Elphaba and Glinda, leaving theatres changed for good. The legacy of Wicked lies in its combination of spectacle and sincerity. It offers dazzling visuals, soaring songs, and Broadway tradition, yet grounds itself in the emotional core of friendship. It asks audiences to question narratives of good and evil, to consider who gets labelled wicked, and to value loyalty and love above power. Looking back, Wicked is more than a blockbuster. It is a cultural touchstone, a story that bridges generations and cultures, a musical that has defied gravity in every sense. It reminds us that outsiders can become heroes, that friendship can outlast difference, and that theatre can inspire belief in the impossible. When I think of Wicked, I think of audiences gasping as Elphaba takes flight, of fans wearing green makeup to shows, of teenagers belting Defying Gravity in bedrooms, of a story that turned witches into icons. I think of a show that has endured for 2 decades yet feels timeless. Wicked is not just a musical, it is a phenomenon, one that continues to soar higher every year.